most of us have been here for the past 5 days. We've had serious conversation around the idea of the history of Nigeria, the country of Nigeria. I would like to start this conversation by explaining why we are decided to embark on a journey to 24 different cities and then ask different Nigerians, young Nigerians actually, what do you need to be Nigerian, ask them about the concern for Nigeria, and basically just look around and engage and use the tools and resources at our disposal to sort of like create an environment, because most of us will understand that a big part of our heritage or our concern around what's working, what's not working in this country is born out of our history. It's born out of the reality that Nigeria is a creation, and it's a creation that we don't even know the beginning of the most creation and adults. So I'm going to begin to go around here, and before I do this, I'll just say that the youth conversation for Nigeria has been designed as a consultation process, and we gather like this to sort of like ask ourselves. I'm sure all of us here is a young person, and all of us, we are concerned about Nigeria, and we're here to share our home. So instead of just saying, oh, the leadership are not good, this is not working, or this is not working, all of these things that we might not be working. Instead, can we just look around and ask ourselves what ideas, what options, what other realities can we? Because the reason why we say in Nigeria, I mean, later on we talk about it. What's that phrase and what does it mean? I mean, I can't point. It's just to say that the lots of this country can be very different. We can be known for better stuff. We can have better leaders. Corruption can be a thing of the past. We can, I mean, everything that is negative and it is challenging about what we're currently doing in this country can be different. And so what we're trying to do is basically ask and begin to lead the conversation as young people. We are no longer willing to just have a silence. We add it. And by doing it, we can lead conversation. And then what's going to happen is that everything that takes place here today, and we're going to be having 24 other different parts of this town hall, and some of them will be stakeholder consultation, roundtable debates, informal conversations, and we're going to keep all of these, and then we're going to gather different ideas together, and we're going to publish a report that's titled "For the Many, the Manifesto for the Nigerian Abuja." And the reason why we're doing that is to at least begin to put our ideas as young Nigerians together, and then lead the conversation with the leaders. We will have this conversation of evidence-based consultative process where we go around and we ask different people, and then this is what we talk. We found out that, oh, young Nigerians believe that, as a matter of fact, democracy is great, but we want a different type of democracy. What we feel about part of the thing that we're asking and we're answering in this town hall would be the unity of Nigeria. Is it the beauty? Are we better off as we are being politically designed? Or can there be other different ways that we can function as a country that can make things better? So just on this conversation, what's more important to me as a youth? Do I want to have a job, or I want to vote in an election? Or can I do both? What's more important to me as a young Nigerian? Do I care whether I can, the CBN can ban crypto, and then make it possible for me to participate in ongoing global revolution to make me wealthy, if I can do so. But rather, I'm limited because I cannot do commerce, because my card is not working when I want to pay for something online. All of these things, but everything has implication, and they can begin to be actively involved and engaged in our process. So, to set up that, and then that's why we're here. And then that, please feel free to share your thoughts for the rest of the evening to be open. We're basically just going to be having around 5 things. And then as we go through the day, maybe we have about 5 responses, 6 responses for each conversation. But sometimes we just do a little bit. If there is more people interested in having that talk, and then after that, we'll have a 30-minute conversation with a panel of 3 people to just be more detailed around some of these questions again. So, who is a Nigerian? What does it mean to be Nigerian? So, we're introducing ourselves and people are saying, I'm a part of Nigeria. Is Nigeria a geographical location? Is it an ideology? Is it a way of life? Is it a culture? Am I born in Ogun State? Do I identify first as a Yoruba person before I'm Nigerian? Or am I supposed to, is my identity part of my, is my origin in terms of my ethnic affiliation part of my identity as a Nigerian? Or should it not be? So, and if you just ask, we ask the question, we post out there, what does it mean? I mean, the video would have, we had this question before, and they would have had some of the answers that people want. But in your own opinion, what does it mean? Is it because we are born in a place that is geographically described as Nigerian? Or is it because you identify with the principle, and we start learning as the anthem, all of us are here with pride, and we do the prayer, my country, be faithful, lawyer, and what? So, is it necessary? Do I agree with those words when I do the pledge? So, I'll go around the table, I'll take about 10 responses, and then identify it. Why are you in Nigeria? What does it mean to be Nigerian to you? And the foundational principle of our way of life, I'm putting all this out there to sort of, how will we identify, what is that? And it's personal. It doesn't matter. I don't think what I think. I might be Nigerian because I was born Nigerian, it's fine. And I think one of the things we also need to understand for the rest of the evening is that no opinion is wrong, no opinion is right, no one is better. You are entitled, you've taken the time to leave your house and come to this conversation. You have the right to your participation, you will be given a space, and then you'll be respected for your thoughts and for your ideas. So it's very important that everybody knows that, and then you can disagree with people's opinion, but you cannot invalidate their standpoint of it. You can take a different road, but it's still there because you own your opinion, you own your ideas, and then you're confident, no matter how controversial or how somebody else doesn't feel like it's connected with it, it doesn't matter. It is your own idea. So, who wants to give the job? Can I have a second mic?
First, I'm in Nigeria because my parents are Nigerians. Constitutionally speaking, if you have 2 parents and citizens of Nigeria, automatically you're a citizen of Nigeria. You're a citizen of Nigeria by birth. And why am I Nigerian? I believe Nigeria has IDs. Nigeria has values. And Nigeria has institutions, culture, and standards. My inclusion as a citizen of Nigeria is to respect and uphold these IDs, contribute my quota as a citizen of Nigeria to lift the standards and the values of Nigeria, where everybody will be proud to live in, where justice will reign, where peace will reign over violence, where justice will reign over injustice, and where respect will reign over destruction. So that is my quota, that is my contribution, and that is my belief and value for Nigeria. Thank you.
For people to contribute to the
standing on the same person you said, at least for me to say I'm a Nigerian, is because I'm a citizen. And what I make myself believe first is because I want to contribute my quota to the nation in within my own ability and capability. And to do that, in university, I began to train youth. I began to organize youth programs. I began to organize women projects, girls, and all that. And I grew to, after university, NYSC, you understand? I went beyond that. During my university, I was still with that passion. I made impact in biology states beyond what it was to be a copper or what it is to be a copper. I love empowering people. I just try to make as much as I can within my organism. In biology states, I began to teach people how to learn to make something out of where they are. Learn to use what you have, as little as it is. Expand it. We don't wait for the government to give us what we want. That is what I believe. Give to this nation in your own little way. That is what I see for myself. Make impact in the life of the next person close to you. I don't believe I must be a president to make impact. I don't believe I must be a governor to make impact. But I believe as a leader, I lead within my capacity, within my jurisdiction, within where I find myself in. And that's how I started impacting people, even as they became entrepreneurs. Living biology states, I was one of the greatest people with funds, monetary-wise. And I make sure that a lot of people learn from me on what it is to do business. I was carrying some goods from biology, sending them to Port Harcourt, selling and making money. And I'll use the same money I made and empower one or two persons to start up their own business. I've made my impact in that. And I told myself that I can only, as an accountant, I can only work for 3 years for another organization, and I start my own. And it was like that. I registered my company, I registered my NGO, I started. And today, I'm using those things to make impact as little as it could be. So that is what I believe. Today I can walk to National Assembly and say, please, sir, I want to do a project with you. I want you to do this in this community. I want this project to be done in this community. Sir, you say you were going to do this project in this community, but this project was not done. I try to hold people accountable. I try to hold legislators accountable. That's why I said that for the past 9 years, I've been in civil society organization. I've worked with so many organizations. I don't need to be up there, but the little I could do makes me proud, makes me a Nigerian, makes me feel I've contributed. I've worked within the national youth organization of this country. A lot of them who have become experts have seen my little impact. There was a time where, before Buhari came in, we wrote the next Nigerian youth agenda, and they flooded it up and a whole lot of that. You must push. Even if it doesn't come to pass, you keep pushing. That is what I believe. You believe that your at least, even if it means to know your house member who is representing you at the state level, at the national level, what are they doing? The money that is being given to them to do projects in the community, are they doing it? Go to your legislator, ask questions. I go to my honorable member, these things are in this project. This one is not done. This one is not. How can we do this? You don't just go to criticize them. You go to bring your ideas on how some of these things can be done, on how many people can be impacted, how the youth can benefit. And a whole lot today, by God's grace, I do some projects with some legislators in different states, not even in just my own state, empowerment programs. And I believe, by God's grace, I have been contributing mine, and I will continue to do that. Thank you very much.
It's beyond being given birth to here in Nigeria. It's beyond answering an Igbo name or coming from Igbo or coming from Yoruba or Hausa or Efik or thereabout. Nigeria happens to be the only country, coming from me now, I stand to be corrected, blessed with so many resources that will make us the best. So, and I want to believe all of us are here to cause the change. how we would have to start. I am starting from myself, leading the change. I'm coming from a part of Nigeria who still believe somehow they are marginalized in the country. But I am starting the change by trying to probably change their mentality with lots of trainings and seminars, giving them a better impression that yes, things are not normal, but things can get better. By the time we start taking these actions, we'll get a better Nigeria, we'll get a new Nigeria. By the time we start believing that yes, irrespective of how everything is currently, when we start working, when we start engaging ourselves with leadership roles in the communities, in the little ways, just like you said, we'll have a new Nigeria. Nigeria is one forever. Thank you.
For me, okay, I am still Juliet. For me, what it means to be a Nigerian is because I identify as a Nigerian. I'm a Nigerian because I'm a Nigerian. I'm a Nigerian because I don't think I'll be better being from any other place than Nigeria. I'm a Nigerian because there is no other place better than Nigeria. And to that extent, I'm a Nigerian because I expect myself to contribute my quota towards making Nigeria a better place, because that is the only place that I feel comfortable to identify myself to be from. So I'm proud that I'm a Nigerian. Thank you.
Good afternoon and good evening, everyone. My name is Taylor Temifolo. The way I understand the question, I'm just going to highlight 3 things. What does being a Nigerian mean to me? First, it means that I am born in Nigeria first. Second is that I identify, because if you identify as being a Nigerian within, within the ambit of the law, then it means you are a Nigerian. The third thing is that being a Nigerian means that you are eligible to engage with stakeholders. It means that you are equally, you are equal with everybody around you, and it shows that you are eligible to engage and make impact in the country. Being a Nigerian means that you are part of the persons putting heads together or resources together to ensure that Nigeria becomes the best state. That's my opinion.
To me, what it means to be Nigerian is, to have this confidence that this is my place. There's nothing you can do here. We die here together. If I'm out of Nigeria, somebody can threaten me and say, okay, we'll support you or we'll do this to you. But if I'm here, there's nothing you want to do. We are here together. Everybody is here. No matter what you think you are, we are here. All of us are here. So to me, to be Nigerian, first, that confidence is there. That whatever happens is still here. And another one is, let me set an example. There was a day in my place. It's close to the road. So we were in, and then there was a noise outside. So we came outside, and it was a bike accident. We don't know them from anywhere. So myself and some other guys, so we just had to pick those guys. I think a lady and a guy. They took them to the health center. The leg was bleeding also. So actually don't know them from anywhere. So it was when we got to the hospital, started conversing, okay, where are you from, where are this, that. So when we got back to the house, the people, on the street were like, do you know those guys? You don't go there, but at least we just took them to the hospital to first aid stuff. And then, so I believe what it means to be in Nigeria is just to render help to those, whether you know the person or you don't know, that mindset, that act is what it means to be in Nigeria. Thank you.
Okay, so let's establish it. So, how many people in the room agree, show of hand, agree that you can like being Nigerian is 0 and 1. It's like how you're not.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's about a third, 2/3 historical. So I'll take one person each to justify that position. Sure. I'll take who hasn't spoken, so okay. Where's the mic? Okay. I'll come.
Recently, I met a lawyer in law school, and she had her primary, secondary, university education had been in the West, Southwest, and I was asking, okay, she was studying that day, and I happened to be around that vicinity, and she was asking if Delta State is in the north or in the south. I'm serious. I was asking, Kaduna is in which geopolitical zone? That is to say, her idea of Nigeria is just what she has, what she was taught, or her existence in the Southwest. And I'm not making this up. You get it? So, looking at that now, obviously you see that there are levels to be in Nigeria. Some people are more cosmopolitan, obviously, than the other, and that is the angle I'm taking as well. Thank you.
Oh, yes. Are you part of the other banker?
Okay, for me, it is either you are Nigerian or you are not. Because just like every other person I mentioned, that once you are born in Nigeria, you are in Nigeria. Then you might pronounce that you are not in Nigeria, but every fact will actually still tie you to Nigeria. So the issue of degree or level in liking Nigeria just lies with your knowledge. But the fact still remains that we die together Nigeria. So that's my own understanding of the fact that the reason why I believe that is either I'm a Nigerian or not. Even if I get another passport, they will say I have dual citizenship. So it doesn't take away the fact that I'm in Nigeria. Even if you are born in the US and you are born by people from here, they will still call you Nigerian American or whatever they call them. So it's still the fact that you are still here.
What I understand by there's degree to Nigerianness is this. Being a Nigerian is all about passion. And I will cite from this example, if we're interacting as young people, you find out that some young people doesn't have passion in Nigeria. They will be like, okay, if I have visa, I don't japa come off for the country. Nothing concern me, concern Nigeria. But being a Nigerian by birth is there. But being a Nigerian is more of what you are contributing to Nigeria. How much can you defend Nigeria? So there is degree to the Nigerianness. We sitting down here shows that, okay, we want to see a new Nigeria and we are Nigerians. And there are people that won't have this time because they don't care. You understand? So there's degree to your Nigerianness in Nigeria.
We don't have half Nigerians. We don't have either you're full Nigerian or you're not a Nigerian. No half measured Nigerian. It is not foreseen in any of our laws, and it's not foreseen in our democracy. If you're Nigerian, you're entitled to full benefit of Nigeria. Even if you are not paying your tax, government will not use because they're not paying that, will not provide security, will not build roads, will not provide institutions. No, all these things are entitled, they are built for all Nigerians, irrespective of your background, irrespective of your religious orientation, irrespective of your academic qualification. So either you're full Nigerian or you're not in Nigeria. There's no half measured Nigeria. It's not foreseen in any of our laws. Thank you.
Then we have Nigerians who are not based here, who don't even know anything about Nigeria, but in terms of blood, they are somehow linked. Maybe you hear things when something bad happens to them. So most times it's bad, when it's good, they become in UK, US. But when something happens, you now realize that their great grandfathers were migrated, they were Nigerian. So I think that is variation to this Nigerian thing. I think there are some Nigerians who, because of where they are based or because of their affiliations, they are just there. Then there's the Nigerian, that is the Bakolololo Nigerian. Then there's the Tush. See, this is variation. In as much as we want to, yes, we are all Nigerians, but my opinion, even us here, we know which of the Nigerian version we are in. Thank you.
In a nutshell, I would say we're all Nigerians, whether we like it or not, as long as it's Nigerian. But what varies or what is your passion and your level of input and participation to the growth of the nation? That is just it. Thank you very much.
So, whether you like it or not, you are in Nigeria. But the problem, we have some problems that we are facing in this country, more especially we are the youth. We are the youth. We have two major problems that nobody can go for that side. First thing, in terms of trust, our founding fathers, they have a trust and they have a unity to unite themselves, work together, and do everything together. For now, you call yourself as a northerner, you call yourself as a southerner, so we're supposed to unite. If we unite, everything can change. If we don't unite, nothing can change.
I think that's a very good way to close. I mean, the thing about it is that I don't think there's, like I said, both are correct answers. I don't think that either you stand here or you stand there. During the football match about a month ago in the National Stadium, we called it the Nigerian-Ghana match. What happened? When we were all angry, did you tell that you brought the house? Everybody's angry that we didn't win. Everybody was just, we were horrified. And you could have imagined the other part, if we had won that day, the jubilation, the excitement, it's the country. For a moment, we forget all the problems of this country. We just want to be like, oh, right there, we're all part of that. So I think the Nigerian identity, it's a representation of the collective and also the individual. The collective, because we are together as a country, we are born into that space, and that's who you are. We can't control it. But as individual, because it's how we respond to that concept as a person. And I think that is a journey. So, how you respond to your being Nigerian is the journey. It's what I can give. I can know as early as age 22 that I want to vote, I want to go for election, I want to do community service, and I do all that. That makes me do certain things. That makes me feel like I'm more active as a social change myself. Anything. But you might wait till you're 40 before you feel you have that conviction. You might not even be interested at all. But that will not stop you from being patriotic when you have a 22. So, the next slide. It's good, my book can be because we already discussed this. Okay. Nigeria.
I don't know what Nigeria is.
Okay.
I think in our society, a lot of people have different things they will always want to rename. And to me, I don't know what Nigeria is. I will say it again. What I know is Nigeria. He is saying that a lot of people outside the country who are more of a Niger. Maybe in their own common, swag language. We can correlate it. But all we know is that Nigeria is a whole, and that is what we know.
Okay, you think it's about the nomenclature. You can't tell personality. Okay, maybe you have a different opinion in a minute. Who else has a different opinion?
You just said that corruption is inbuilt in the blood of Nigeria. That's what you said. You made reference of slave trade era. For me, I didn't see it as corruption. I saw it as greed. They are not the same. Technically, there could be a correlation there. But
it's best to corruption. The corruption
that's what I said technically. But critically looking into it, they were greedy. Those people of them, they were greedy. Then, over time, we built on the system and built institutions that can checkmate all these corrupt acts or tendencies. So that they were not corrupt, rather they were greedy. There was no system to checkmate them then.
There's no system now. It's still like
Please,
good evening, everyone. So I want to write on what Chibundu started, and I think when we look at the context of history, we tend to forget that there are certain issues that facilitate whatever it is that we like or hate about that particular period. So he said something around slave era, Nigerians are corrupt, and it was not only Nigerians, or it was not only the black people that participated in the slave trade. There was a demand for it. That was why there was supply. White people sold themselves. From the beginning of the history of the world, people have always been selling themselves. That is a natural human phenomenon. I don't think we should attribute it to a Nigerian spirit or a Nigerian person or a Nigerian culture. It is a human culture. So until probably the 19th century when we abolished it, and then even till now, you would find out that in Asia there is still more human trafficking, there is still more slavery than in Africa. So it's not a Nigerian thing. And another thing I wanted to point out was the fact that in the 50s, how many people were in Nigeria? We were not up to 50 million. I think the last count before the British left were 45 million people. And so when you say things were better, not necessarily. The people things were better for, there was only University of Ibadan as at 1948. So which means fewer people went to the university and they got job faster. So it was easy, and then you could point out 10 to 15 people per city, per town that the government was employing. Compare it to now that we have more than 300 universities. Compare it to now that we have more than 200 million people. So I think when we are comparing and contrasting history, we should always take into fact that context. So I don't think Nigeria is necessarily worse than it was 40, 50 years ago. I feel it's still the same thing. I just feel the consequences of lack of policy making, decision making has come to the fore because we have a bigger population and the world is much more globalized compared to what it was 50 years ago. I can know what is happening in your village right now. Whereas 50 years ago, before it gets to, let's say, all this place was under the Kaduna, the northern region there. Before stories from a village in Benue State gets to Kaduna, it takes weeks. So the idea is that there is much more information now than there was then. It does not mean Nigeria is better. Nigeria has never been better. That's
okay. I like this point. So this takes me to the next set of I'll take the next set of interruption. So I want to go to the poll and register to vote. I want to encourage everybody to do so. But I don't see anything changing because I respect the institution of democracy. So that's the best thing, that's the farthest I will go. But I don't think a PDP or APC or any other person, I want someone to emerge so that that institution can continue to exist. But I don't think that anything will change significantly because of vote. Because the problem is not the president, the problem is not the party, the problem is not the process, the problem is deeper than that. It's the system.
It's true that the system is bad and all the leaders are bad. You know, we'll be saying that the leaders are bad because we've not been able to make the shoes, maybe as a governor, as a president. Let me give ourselves a practical example. For example, if you're a good fan of football, and when you're watching football, you see a player playing, you say, you like this, say, go score a goal. When you enter the football field, you discover that it's not easy to score the goal. You're watching the goalpost too. The goalkeeper will not get the goalpost. You play the ball will go over the bar. For example, we're a human being. So anybody contesting will have good intentions, but the system will not allow you to implement those intentions. Because the system has been structured in such a way that it will be very difficult for you to be elected under a platform of in a transparency platform. For example, 2023 election is coming. I'm not a prophet, but there's nothing good that will come out of those people that have protected the nomination from. Because the money they protect the nomination came out from corruption activities. There's no magic, no miracle, no prayer or something. No messiah or something. And they have the real intention, for now they have the real intention. But after the primary election, some people feel manipulated. They will say, no, I'll form an alliance to make sure that this administration will not survive. So for me, the leaders are good, but the system will not allow you to do anything good for this country. Because we inherited a bad system. We will try to maintain that system that brought you to power. Thank you.
I think it's the leaders that are the problem. The systems don't create themselves. They are created by people. Systems are man-made. So if you say the system is a problem, who created the system? Also, the idea of inheriting a bad government and there's nothing you can do. They're not wrong for office. Like, if you can't fix the problem, that's why they're elected into office. If you can't fix the problem, then don't run. That's if after a while it gets boring when you start blaming your failures on previous governments or previous administration. That's why you were elected, to fix existing problems created by predecessors. So you can't say, oh, the problem is the system. So what's why you need to change it? It's like you keep failing exams in school, and then you say, oh, the questions are difficult. So you work harder now. You can't just say, oh, your questions are hard, it's not my fault, I'm trying. I think it's crazy to say it's the system. Systems, like I said, were created by people. They don't just exist in and of themselves. So if the system is a problem, the leaders created the problem, it's up to them to fix it now.
Leaders create and establish systems. Then systems grow so powerful that they can create newer leaders after the order of that incorrectness. Did you get that? Leaders create and establish these systems, but the systems can grow so powerful that they create newer leaders after that order of incorrectness, that it will take so much for you to destabilize the systems that were created. So I think, and also leaders themselves, President Obama said something about strong men and strong institutions. And he said strong men have the capacity to wield power in a way that they can create institutions and make them strong. But strong institutions have the capacity to now sustain the building of strong men. So it's a two-way traffic, really. The fact is, when the system is bad, when the problems become systemic in their own way, then we must break loose from it. That's why, for example, Kemi Adeosun did not grow up in this system, right? She became so whatever she became, and then she came back to Nigeria. She was made Ogun State Commissioner of Finance or so, and then later on became Minister of Finance. And when everything happened, they were like, your NYC certificate is this. She was crying. The normal Nigerians won't cry. They will move with their head up high. Yes, I didn't finish school. What happened? Do you get it? Normal people resign when there is a scandal. Nigerians float and they soar in the midst of a scandal. So you can understand here that it's the system and the leadership we're talking about is not just political leadership. There's an error in even family leadership. There's an error in communal leadership. There's an error in religious leadership. There's an error in ethnical leadership. So it goes to the root that where even in families, men are absent. So how do the children understand that, oh, a man is supposed to treat a woman right? How will he treat women right in politics? When a child doesn't know how to act in the community, respect people, be tolerant, how will he know how to be tolerant as a legislature? So the tolerance from the family goes into the legislation. So you discover that the leaders here are also a product of the system. So what do we need to do? We need to overhaul our mindsets. And we don't overhaul our mindsets by saying we don't know what to do, like Noya said. We don't know what to do, the blame game. Jonathan did it this way. The reason why it is bad is because Jonathan... That's why you said change, really. You said you used your own very vocal cavity to say change. So if you had said change, we expect that you were prepared. And I align myself with Juliet when she said they're clueless. Because if you know what to do, it means you've identified the problems with the system. Then there are strategies to dismantle the strong pillars of that system that enables you to now raise up your own systems that allows things to function. She talked about private sector. How is it that First Bank is more than a century old? Is that so? More than 100 years old, yeah? And it's still there. It's still making profit. Nigeria is barely 60 plus years old. It's not making profit. It's not. You know what is wrong? It's because, one, we fail to take responsibility. We are very good at the blame game, and this starts from the home. Who did it wrong? Oh, your mother is your children. We are pushing the responsibility. So we will, of course, push the responsibility when we get into government. Oh no, it's Jonathan. Oh no, it's Babangida. Oh no, it's Abacha who is dead and still sending us alerts. So that's the problem.
A very good person now. Go and take 100 million naira and buy my phone for me to get there and make this nation a good one. I don't know if you're getting me. The first thing that will be on my mind to get there is to recover my 100 million naira. The system is forcing me to do what I do not want to do. I don't know if you're getting me. But if we, all of us here, start shouting 100 million naira is too much, I cannot get one for presidential because 100 million naira, I cannot get 100 million naira. Then we're changing the system. If you go and see somebody, I tell somebody, I say, if you want to vote, do not vote party. Vote individual who you know has to go there to do something good. If you start looking at, do you know that some people in this country, the only party they know is APC and PDP. Even if they are the worst, they produce the worst person they know in the world, they will go and vote party. This is the system. And you as an individual have to start changing those things. Let us start going off having two parties. You see somebody in another party who is a very good person and you know he's going to do better. And maybe he has got to join a party where he can buy comfortably a 1 million naira form. You say this one no follow. I know sometimes it's not just the system, it's not just the leaders, it is even individual things. We have refused to even change what the system has forced us to live with. But if you begin to change, now look at somebody who is going to vote for election. Some of us now, we've even started planning, even collecting money from politicians. That is just the truth. No matter how we do youth sensitization and the rest of it, some people's mind are saying, where the money they now they go. It doesn't make sense. So it's not just about the leaders. We are forcing the leaders to. Now you want to bring a leader, you want a good country. You know, you are not looking at other party, two parties, where they even bring the most corrupt people. And you want to, tomorrow you blame it on the leader. No, you forced the leader there. Let's begin to change our mindsets. Let's begin to understand some of these things. It is also we are also the problem. It is not just the leaders. The system, that's why I believe that system is forcing people to do what they do not even want to do. Just like you're driving your car going there, and even you know that if you go here, you understand, you've just beaten the traffic, and you're just supposed to go and go to their lesson and you now say, okay, the system, or you're bringing 50,000 naira. You know you're right, that what you're supposed to go to is just to go to my office and possibly, do this and do the right thing. You believe you just, okay, let's just give them sharp money. So, I don't believe that leaders are just the problems. But somebody said that some of our leaders are not innovative. Forget the leader who is not innovative. Start knowing the person that you know that is innovative to get them make change. Then we're also seeing old men who their brains are supposed to be relaxing, who are supposed to be resting. And they start coming out under PDP and APC
and we still want to go and vote them. My dear, who the problem will land on now? Who the cause?
I think it is fundamental that we begin to look at issues around governance. If we must have to achieve a new Nigeria, we are not in the new Nigeria yet. I don't believe we are, because a lot of things we've spoken about, systems, structures. If we begin to delve into that, we might not live till tomorrow night, because the issues are hydra-headed. But then looking at the solutions, can we get this right? Yes, we can get it right. When we begin to look at not how buoyant the person is to try around money to engage the process, but how responsible and reasonable and the rationale behind the person's desires to lead. Because a lot of people come with a lot of things. So for me, a new Nigeria, if we must gravitate towards getting a new Nigeria, we must begin to make conscious efforts. We really need to be intentional about what we do and how we elect those who are going to pilot the affairs of this country in the next 4 years. Thank you.
Right. Wonderful. That question is $1 billion question. Like, a new Nigeria is one that understands the past, the old. A child who wants to know how his future would be needs to look at his parents. Because I think, like it or not, they're a reflection of who you may become. So if you do not want to be their reflection, you must act different today in the present. So for the new Nigeria, really we must acknowledge the shortfalls, high rises of the past, yes, but we must act right today, put in the right blocks, especially when it comes with leaders. It goes back to the leadership question yet again. So because the people piloting the affairs of the country are very key, essential to how it goes. Descends or ascends?
Okay, thank you. I do agree to a degree that the concept of new Nigeria is about the promise of the future, and that's why, to a very large degree, we are thinking ahead and thinking that the potential of the country can be better, things can be different, and then the institution it's a progress, it's a work in progress. And acknowledging that the country is a work in progress allows us to consolidate our gains, because as difficult as things are, I think one of the things that I feel like works well for this country right now, it's our unity. We think that we're not, there are places in the world where things are this bad, and I don't understand how. In the space of 10 years, you will have the inflation rate that we have, and we're still here, things okay. But, I mean, government will only 6 months higher, so that's a miracle. This I think Nigeria is a miracle, and I think that the concept of the new Nigeria is built out of the understanding that we can continue to leverage our resilience as a people, and look ahead and say that things can be better, things will be better, and we just have to put together collectively build it. Because whether we like it or not, things are changing. Things will change only because political leaders will change. You know what? One of the things that I feel also is like, if you think about it, everywhere, even the places that we think are better, they have their own concerns with their leaders. They think that the leaders are not doing well. They think that everything will be improved. No place is actually the best. So I think the idea of the new Nigeria is possible. It's the construct of the new Nigeria. It's open. Is to say that don't worry, it's cool to better. Our children, our grandchildren can live in a country where they can get a job, have to graduate from school, and they can have opportunities that represent a better life, a life that's humane, where they don't have to think about, Africa is always lived in poverty and all that. So,
quickly add.
Please.
One of the things that just came to mind now is that we're complicit. We, the Nigerian people are complicit in whatever is happening in Nigeria. We're complicit and we're complacent. Complicit in the sense that we are contributing to whatever is happening, and we will also be complicit if we want to see change, and then we're complacent. And then one of the things with Nigerians is that we suffer from amnesia, selective amnesia. We choose to remember what we want to remember, and we fail to remember the things we ought to remember. So we don't know where to act, because, like I said, an understanding of where we're coming from aids us.
Thank you. Thank you. That's very true. That's very true. My third question. I'm just thinking about it. We're having this question in Nigeria, and then one of the key important things is that how is the key topic of youth political participation. I mean, I think that because whether it's leaders or the systems, whether it's the identity, whether it's whatever it is, if you're not part of something, if you're not involved, you cannot make difference, you cannot change. So I think a big part of the thing is also be part of the process, be part of the, at least in any case, even if you cannot make change, you can understand why things are not working, and you can at least leverage it and tell people to see. So why is youth political participation important to the construct of the new Nigeria? Do we necessarily, does it matter whether our president is 70 years old or is 45 years old? Or does it just count as long as we can have a good president and the country can be better, politics can work, the economy can work, and the jobs can be there, and the things infrastructure can happen? And then does it really matter if you are leaders, or is it important that both young people, women, disabled, inclusion, is it important that we actively contribute to the process of how we are led by actively engaging as political leaders as youth?
For me, it matters. In as much as I strongly advocate for inclusive participation, women, girls, youth, persons with disability, I think it matters. Because when you bring a 70, 75, 80 years old man or woman to be in a position of leadership, there are some things the person will not understand. Injecting fresh ideas. For crying out loud, you can't bring somebody that is 70 and you're telling the person that you can revamp a particular sector using tech, that you can use tech and stage this, and somebody is somewhere making some things happen. Most of them who are in leadership that are leveraging on tech are using very young persons to do that. A good number of them don't understand it. Somebody was asking me, I was talking about something, and somebody said, okay, can I do this? One of you, I said, I've received it, is money. A woman of 82 just said, just like that. And I said, yes, the money is here, I can go and get it. There are some things they don't understand. Some people don't even understand that you can stay in your house and request for something, and they'll get to you. So tell me how somebody who does not understand the advantage of tech in the present age will bring change or new ideas. So we need to inject fresh, young, responsible, and reasonable persons into spaces of political engagement. And if you ask me again, yes, Nigeria has a lot of political parties. But our leaders, those that have been there since I was born, that have been hearing their names and they are still there, are making it impossible for young persons to be there. How are they doing it? Currently, we are gravitating towards the 2023 election. The big players, the big political parties are selling their nomination funds. At what rate are they selling it? And remember, we have an EMB, Electoral Management Board, that should monitor the cost of governance, the cost of election. And nobody has said anything. Now, if I come from youth ability political party, for 1,001 persons, they don't know who I am. Because I'm not from the 2 or 3 big parties that we know. So for you to also find yourself there, you need to align with the ideologies of these old people to get into that space. And by the time you do that, they will begin to dictate for you. So I think we need to inject very young persons into the space to make things begin to happen the new way. In the past 4 days, finally I'm rounding up, in the past 4 or 5 days we've been here, a lot of things has happened. We've been here chatting with people, being exposed to a lot of things, a lot of technologies, and a lot of information that we never knew existed within the tech space. You can do this, you can stay here because you're doing this, and you request for this, and they don't think the way we think. They don't know what we know. And they don't desire the type of change we desire. In as much as they are there and they are happy, they are taking everything to themselves, they are good with it. So we need to inject fresh blood.
Thank you.
Okay, so I don't agree completely with you, respectfully, but I don't agree completely with you. Age is just a number for love. Age is just a number for war. Anybody, when there's war now, will conscript everybody. Why is age an issue in politics? Really? Because I think 3 things are key: capacity, merit, qualifications. And you can find all 3 in young people and in old people. So if the person has the capacity, if the person has the merit, if we're not giving him, or if we're not electing him because he's Igbo or he's Yoruba, if on that basis, I think age shouldn't play a significant role. Like they say, youth is not strength and age is not wisdom. Old age is not wisdom. It is a person who proves strength and wisdom by track record that should be allowed to hold the reins of power. So your track record, you can be really young and your track record shows us that you are irresponsible, that you are nothing. You shouldn't even be giving the opportunity, because there are some young people today, give them the opportunity, you would be surprised. And lastly, leadership is not only attained through elective ascendancy. So when we are saying young people cannot get the 100 million, remember that only about 30% of those in leadership go by elective ascendancy. 70% of them are by appointive ascendancy. Do you get it? So elective ascendancy is roughly 30%. The president is elected, the vice president is elected. But the ministers, all of them are appointed. So we can really do better, because at the end of the day, the machinery of government is on its own is controlled by both elected people and appointed people. Is that so? So there's more to be done. We could leverage on the opportunities, affirmative action for young people through what's it called? Appointed positions. It's not to say, not to mean or to demean the capacity of young people to do this. And like you said, there's more to be done when it comes to the cost of elections, the cost of governance.
Okay, just
quickly chip something. I agree with Chinedu when you begin to talk about issues of affirmative action. But Nigeria has, I know that on gender issue, Nigeria has 35%, they are signatory to 35% affirmative action. Please, how many women are in different houses of assembly? Even on issues of appointive positions, how many states? Let's not talk about voting in progress. Because when you begin to analyze it at the federal level, you still see the gap. So how many states, in all the states, the 36 states and Abuja, how many women are there in appointive positions? The issue is that when the wrong persons are there, they will always find their way around these policies and pretend like they don't know they exist.
Okay, thank you very much. I think those are my fun questions. Thank you for doing justice to them. Thank you for representing. So I'm going to defer the last question to the entire house. So everybody has to say a last word. And that's just, maybe I can start with you actually, but in 1 minute. So when we come back, as you're answering the question, you can start thinking about it, you decide to participate in that. So, you wake up tomorrow morning, you're the president of Nigeria, you're the governor of your state, you're the local government chairman, you get a letter from the president that you're going to get a political appointment. What will you do different? Are you ready? Are you prepared? Have you thinking about it? What sector will you choose? What areas of problems? Because we have a myriad of different problems. So, which one do you think you come first? Or which one will you prioritize? How will you do it? Everybody's on the opposite side. Take a moment, but I want us to leave here before 8, so, or at least latest by 8 you can finish, so it's already like taken a lot of message. So, yeah, actually.
That is an excellent question. You see, I think the best I know, I know that the first thing would be for me to really define, not just for myself, but for the people who elected me, what it means to be Nigerian. The value of your Nigerianness. And I will do this, there's so many ways to show it. Insecurity. One American dies somewhere and you know what's going to happen. The American knows that he has value in the eye of the elected official, whether Republican or exactly. So I want to define what it means to be Nigerian. That's what it is. Like defined by my actions, not by 50-point agenda. Define what it means to be Nigerian. Like step into the circles of not just the elite Nigeria, because we have elitist leaders who want to roll in circles just with the elite, but really define what it means to be Nigerian. So the average Nigerian in Makoko will understand that I'm as Nigerian as the Nigerian in VI. Okay, excellent.
For me, it boils down to policy issues. If I'm given the opportunity to become a president now, I'll look at that issue that has been very controversial. The 1999 Constitution has amended. Everybody has said, even if you're God, you come down, back down, and they hand over that, they swear you in using that Constitution, you will not perform. So, for me, I would like to look at it because the Constitution has been looked at over and over again, and we just came out from another Constitution review. There has been recommendations over time that has not been implemented. During the time of Jonathan, some people sat in Abuja for 3 months and they were paid 12 million, 4 months every day to sit on our every month to sit on our behalf. And the recommendations of that they are sitting and taxpayers' money that was given to has not been implemented. So we should look at, for me, I look at the issues with the Constitution and know how to go about it.
Okay, thank you very much, Chinedu and Kilale. A round of applause for them. Yeah, you can go back to the seat. So we're just continue. But before I do that, David, you ready for me? I almost forgot. So yeah, I know it now. So David is a performing artist. So he's going to just make a performance very short of what he wrote here. And after that, it's a good time for every one of us to just kind of like conclude our 30 seconds response to that question. I want everybody to say something about that. So yeah, I'm going to bring this to a close.
Good evening, everyone. Once again, my name is David on paper, Crosswords on the stage, so you can call me Crosswords.
Zombie, oh zombie, zombie, oh zombie, 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 I dey be whenever be. Zombie, 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 wetin dey occur, my people, wetin dey play a channel like this we go dey dey. In the land where all the men are blind, the one-eyed man is the king. That is why we have the masses dancing to the tunes these politicians sing.
Ring the alarm, no be say our head, no carry oil, but they know it's on fire. If you can't see we're running out of time, then I'm sorry. Brothers killing brothers. And the fathers don't even bother. Headsmen pillaging all across the borders, and they will still take away our rights if we know them that over. Zombie, shell, benga, chuku, the shell, and they see. We've been going around in circles, stuck in the struggles of our heroes past. Our matter be like film, we don't cast. We've been hiding behind these memes and smiles for too long. Meanwhile, our oppressors have been getting strong. Are you blind? Can't you see? It don't be. Look at us, it won't be, wherever be. Because it's 1 man, 2 man, 3 man, down. For so long, they've been holding us down. Another man just got shot down right in his own hometown. Online protest and Johnny don't fall down. Tell me, how do I sleep in a land where my dreams are being held in chains? They not used to be a desert, now with ceaseless bloody rivers in the streets. I mean, year in, year out, flood in the our streets. The big men choosing beef over their people, burying in the stranger people's lives for some manu, but no one dare speak up. I mean, try them now, like Naira value, you know, we feel rise up. We know our rights, but we don't exercise now. We will kill each other and put the blame on the I am that I am saying these words. No mean say I don't know I could die for it. I mean, even when we took to the streets, we were cut down beat by beat. Zombie. Whether young or old, we are held by these shackles, dancing to the tune of our own slave masters. Shaku shaku.
That's very brilliant. So there's another thing, like there's power in the art, the power in music, in spoken words, in expression, not only to just remind me, look at how much insight, how much call to action that's in just that 3, 5, 4 minutes per topics. Because a lot of Nigerians are actually rapping. Because you're not paying attention, it's just that. It's okay, yeah, first, this is someone now, bye. Okay. You know when somebody that actually takes the effort to actually, you go on Twitter and people are defending government, thinking that defending government, it's okay to decide. You can agree on Monday, but disagree on Wednesday. You can agree on health, but disagree on security. You can agree on education, but disagree on social security. It's not a problem. Because we don't want to. Who doesn't want to be a zombie anymore? How do you want to be a zombie? Okay, I'm a zombie because of my attitude to the country, to the nation, and my interest. Okay, thank you. So I'll just go on. You don't have to say something if you don't want to, but maybe I'll limit it to 10. If after 10 people, there are still people that want to say something, but please, because we're going to give you at 8 o'clock, that's why I give you some time to think about what you want to say in advance, so you can say articulately and very carefully within a minute.
30 seconds. 10 seconds.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. If I'm given the opportunity to read Nigeria today, I think I will harness the creativity of the youth and institutionalize policies that work. If I'm given the opportunity to become the president of Nigeria today, I will harness the creativity of the youth and institutionalize policies that work.
Now, please stand up.
If I am opportune to govern or rule this country as the president, I'm sorry to say this, I am going to break some certain laws. Hold on. This Trump man in Russia, Putin, he said something 3 years ago when he was running for re-election. He said, and I quoted him,
Fighting corruption in a corrupt country doesn't need due process, but necessary process. So I am going to apply necessary process in order to get it right.
So if I'm given an opportunity to be a president, I'll focus on practical education because I think that our problem is most of us are not aware of the paths that we hold.
If I'm given a chance to rule Nigeria, I think the first thing I'm going to do is to fix the electricity.
Okay, yeah, fix.
If I'm given an opportunity, the first thing I will do when we're talking about systems, what I will do is I will do systems strengthening. Thank you.
Okay.
If I rule Nigeria today, well, the first thing I would ensure is to ensure that there is full implementation of anything we put into Nigeria's policies and a lot of laws that are not implemented. And I will ensure all contracts are being monitored and evaluated from the beginning to the end. And this is what
If I have the opportunity to lead tomorrow, I will get the best hands to work with and make sure that I shun mediocrity.
If I have a chance to be here, just like he said, I think that the first thing is to do electricity. Electricity, that's just it. If electricity is okay, almost every other thing is okay.
Hello, good evening everyone. So it's an opportunity to somehow grab power in this country. I think the first thing I will do is to make sure Nigeria works as a federalism, as a federal state. Thank you very much.
Okay, if I have the opportunity to become a Nigerian president, I will change the 1999 constitution. Everything that guys us in this country, you go back and constitution.
If I have the opportunity to be the president of Nigeria, my government will be an inclusive government.
Wait till we finish to take this out.
My government, if I have the opportunity to be the president of Nigeria, my government will be an inclusive government because I think that's where the government is missing out. There are so many people, young people, women, persons with disability that have ideas that can be implemented in the country to make the country a better place. So I think that's what I will work mostly on.
Alright, so if I have a chance to govern this country, I would ensure that people do not get away with things. I believe one of the problems is that people do things and they get away with it. So I would strengthen the judiciary and I would ensure the autonomy of the judiciary and then require accountability of them so that both as leaders and individual citizens of the country, we have to pay for whatever it is.
There's another mic, 1 second mic. There are two. This side of the
Well, we give me the opportunity to be a leader, so the first thing I'm doing is to sanitize the system. And in sanitizing the system, I'll mention some, I'll not mention some. But I like what somebody said, bringing those people, even in the local community, to voice out what they want. I believe that when you give people the mass for the opportunity to speak, you get more ideas from what they want and you work in accordance with them.
Just take that to somebody. Okay, thank you.
you. So if I'm given the opportunity to lead this country, I'll look into education. And in education, I'm not talking about just the formal, as well as the informal. Because we're in Abuja. We're sitting here, educating ourselves, but there's some people in the real places who are not actually opportunity to be here. So educating them in their own space is going to be necessary. Thank you.
All right. If I'm opportune to serve in this country or to lead this country, I will major the work on systems that will change, that will give the people the right mindset, especially the young ones, right from primary school, the secondary school system, getting the right mindset of being a true Nigerian.
Okay, so if I have the opportunity to be the president of this country, I will run a thorough capitalist system. I'm just if this man said that First Bank has operated for over a century and is making profit, I am going to privatize so many institutions in this country and it's going to work.
If I get the opportunity to go to this country, first of all, I will go for the peace and unity. Secondly, education system, and thirdly,
Any other contribution? Okay. That's fine. Thank you everyone for a very insightful and engaging evening. One hour please. We're very grateful for taking the time to be part of this conversation. Just so like I said at the beginning, we're going to be doing this in 24 other cities across the country just to get those ideas together. And then eventually we'll have a publication that will put the ideas. Please, if we have your conscience, we'll tell what of things we're also doing. We're going to send some survey out. Please help us share so that your friends can just help us fill the survey. We'll be getting some data just like, okay, some of these questions we're asking, some people cannot come here, but they can just fill the survey on their phone and tell them options of what it means to be Nigerian, all of these things, and they can put it in as data, as evidence in our reporting, into the publication, and say, at least, informed decisions. Maybe some of these ideas around, look at some brilliant ideas coming from this simple question of the idea of living in Nigeria. Like, one thing we do differently. I like capitalism. That's a good idea. People are talking about education, but again, for our bootcamp members. So this is it. This is what I'm asking you to do. I mean, the only thing we didn't do different is just where I'm not asking you to have four screens, do all of it. If you have events that will give us that, fine. But of course, have your audience, have your questions, have participation, have the engagement. We'll give you guidelines on how to some of the prompts. We didn't even use them now, because there's really no time to actually put them to use. But your prompts will be more detailed, will be much more engaging than the one we used tonight. And then you'll also be able to engage the audience. When you see how the PowerPoint has helped you to sort of like flow into the question. Otherwise, there's 3-4 responses to move on to the next one. Because the truth is that anybody that has something to say will still have a time to say something, because they're all like interwoven together. So you can do that. The format as well, I successfully put it's more 20-minute part of the student answer, one part. You can do that as well. You can have a keynote speaker instead, you can have someone on the stage. Depending on how you're flexible. But the key goal is just we bring people together, we ask them these questions, we take the feedback, and we bring it back, and we put it into our reporting, and make that manifesto document and say that this is what we want our Nigerians to do, because we want Nigeria for the many. And the reason why we have used that word, even in advance of getting it set up, a Nigeria that works for the many is our idea of Nigeria. The Nigeria we have now works for who? Little. Few numbers, the people are little, the people work. That's why we have more poverty. And so, again, within this is Citizens Government Impact Hub, Social Innovation Hub, and thanks for coming to our space. Thanks for being part of our conversation. Thanks for being concerned about Nigeria. Thanks for being, it doesn't end. So, at the end of the evening, we have food, eat, share your time, talk to other people, meet new people, and have a beautiful night's rest, and then see you at home.